What's up, guys? It's Lil Scalpel, baby. Let's fucking go. Let's do it, man. Another day, another day, another day. We're doing the same shit, man. Just jumping right in. We're gonna jump right into it, man. Getting right into these daily reviews. Definitely got some stuff to go over. Guys, I fucking love this shit, man. If you are liking this content, please comment at least and just tell me if you like it or what I could do better. I don't know if anybody trades this strategy like this, these 5 minute flags, but guys, this is what I do. This is what I'm gonna keep doing. Yeah, let's just jump right in, man. I don't like wasting time, and let's get to it, guys. First thing that I seen when I sat down was HWH. Now, no news on this play, but you can kind of see had the similar look as some things from last week. Nice big downtrend right here, starting to get closer into that 7 a.m. volume. And we cracked that downtrend. And I like seeing that, man. I like seeing that. If it's not a play that's fresh and like putting in a fresh move, it's common to see something like this where you had something that popped at 4 a.m., pulled back all the way into, coming into 7 a.m. when more traders are coming in, more volumes coming in. So yeah, that's why I was watching this. It didn't have news. I was taking that into account. My plan was just to go in, break the ice, keep the size manageable. No need to jump in too fast, too crazy on a Tuesday after a long holiday. And yeah, immediately I saw this thing starting to pull back. Went without me. Didn't really have much time to even think about doing nothing there. But once it made this big move, I was still interested in trying to trade a pullback on this thing. Kind of see, getting a nice pattern. Getting that first 5 minute pullback after a fresh move. I was kind of anticipating it for it to maybe hold up over these pre-market high levels, which was about $3. Now, this was starting to look like a good pullback, a nice deeper pullback, not just like a 1 minute 9 EMA tap and then go. Came down, tested that 1 minute 20, and I was getting ready to punch an entry here. Even deeper of a pullback. I liked this. I liked this for sure. Look at the timing here. Watching the time on the 5 minute candle. I was looking to get in on the next 5 minute candle. I wanted to see this be a push candle. You kind of see that it started to pop open green. I was looking for that first 1 minute candle to make a new high to get an entry. If it would have came down and tapped the 5 minute A right here, that would have been even better, which is what it was kind of doing, kind of putting that base for me to risk off of. And that's kind of how I played this right here. Nice wick off the 5 minute ADMA. Perfect to use as a risk off right there. And I want to see this candle kind of flip green and start to push here. Still, once we got that first 1 minute candle to make a new high, guys, I punched an entry right there. Half size to start, half size. It didn't jump in with too much. Like I said, I just wanted to break the ice, fucking clear the cobwebs of the 3-day weekend. And I was waiting. So we had another minute left in this 5 minute candle. Once this one started to get closer to closing, if it did start to be that push candle, I was willing to add a little bit more, maybe double up on my position here, risk about $50, and really look for this ultimately that new high a day right here, 340s. Same shit, man. Same fucking shit. So here we go. I was really close to getting stopped out on this one. I was watching really close. My stop would have been 290s. I didn't see any 290s coming in on the tape here. So it looked like this wanted to double bottom right here, which would have been really good. I really liked seeing that. Once this candle looked like it started to want to flip green right here, there we go. I added a little bit more right there. So I'm sitting on 400 shares right here, looking to get this first 5 minute candle to make a new high here, and ultimately come and test the top of the flagpole. Guys, I got stopped out. This trade didn't work. First trade of the day. Not a problem. The execution was perfect. I mean, I think I executed this one good. I stopped out when I said I was going to stop out. I took my entries like I normally do. And this one just continued lower. And that's it. That's it. Let's move on. So yeah, started the day off red there. Manageable, nothing crazy. Next up was SHFS. This one, I believe, had some news. I believe this one had news. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to go and look right now, but I like the price on this one. This one was definitely a spready name. A little whippy, but It's all good. Gonna go over how I traded this one. Didn't really give a 5-minute pullback here. Kind of just grinded higher. I was still waiting. Okay, now we're getting that 5-minute pullback. We have highs here of 482. I was kind of anticipating maybe it's to come test this area about 350s, you know, just like a reference point. That's about where the 5-minute EMA is. You see, it kind of gave you that 1-minute candle to make a new high off of VWAP here, but I wanted a little bit more. This was pretty extended off the 5-minute 8 here. Now we were getting a little bit of a bigger pullback right here. Come in to test the 1-minute 20. And see how I played this. Okay, so I did mark this off as my potential risk off right here. Now, again, I was waiting for the 5-minute timing on this one to take an entry. So I see we're pretty close to the 5-minute 8 here. We just put in this pretty decent 5-minute pullback, about, not 50%, probably like 25% of this move. I don't know the exact number. I'm just freaking ballparking. But long story short, nice 5-minute pullback. You can already see that we're starting to curl off the 1-minute 20, and I wanted to use this as a risk off. Now, what I was saying to myself is if this 5-minute candle right here looks like it wants to be a push candle, I'll go ahead and take an entry, risk the low of this pullback, and look for new highs here. This wasn't the craziest trade, anything like that. I had a pretty decent entry, nothing too crazy. I could have definitely maybe got in a little lower down here anticipating this, but I really wanted to look at the 5-minute chart. I'm going to play it off the 5-minute chart for my entry. You can see that we're breaking through the downtrend right here, the small downtrend of the flag. I like seeing that. And yeah, ultimately this one broke out for new highs, and I had a pretty decent base hit on this trade. Stuck to the plan. Put my profit target in right there. Nothing too crazy to go over here, guys. But yeah, this was a good trade. On to the next one. Then we had SSKN. Should be shortly after this one. Let's see. Hope I'm not too boring, guys. I'm just trying to show what I do, man. Hope someone finds value in these trades, man. You can see I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, so now we had SSKN. Now on this one, I kind of missed this nice move. So this was a 8 a.m. play. This had news. Popped after 8 a.m. This gave a nice first pullback right here, but I missed this whole trade. In hindsight, I'm not sure if I would have took it because it did pull back like most of this pullback here. Definitely broke the 50% level. But ultimately it held up, and I guess you can consider this the first 5-minute pullback, but I was still willing to trade the second because there's some nice volume that came in on this thing. So yeah, you see it made a nice move here, and I'm like, okay, if this gives me another 5-minute flag right here, I will dabble. And this was a nice pullback right here. Nice price action. You see it had a 1-minute pullback right here. It got stuffed right here and continued to pull back lower. Now I wanted to see like VWAP hold right here. You have the VWAP in the 1-minute 20. It was a little bit extended, but guys, I seen this candle start to be a push candle. So I was like, you know what? I'll stick to my plan, and I'll play that first 1-minute candle to make a new high, and I'll risk the low of this pullback because we're getting that 5-minute push candle. I'm pretty sure that's how I played it. Yep, so once we got that first 1-minute candle to make a new high, stab my entry. Nothing too crazy on the risk here. Still within $50 of risk. Yeah, and I was just looking for it to clear out because I saw this was a big stuff candle right here, but I'm like, oh, this thing seems pretty strong. I was expecting buyers to step up on this thing and clear out this level. It kind of trapped some shorts right here. That's what we got. Yeah, I think I took some off. I think I took a little bit off a little prematurely right here. I could have waited a little bit. Let's see when I took some off. We were coming up into highs here. I took some off to be safe. Yep, took some off right there. Not a big deal. Ultimately, I got some off over high day right here too. Wanted to look for this little 1-minute flag right here to continue through to new highs. Kind of looking for that 450 break right here. I was giving it a second, but I probably got it at like 435, 440 right there. Yeah, ultimately this kind of got stuffed right here. Didn't really go much higher. on the morning. But yeah, that was it for pre-market. I was pretty content with that, and I waited until open. And let's pull up those trades because things got pretty cool at the open. Uh-oh. Why is it not letting me open this? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to. I had to pull my laptop up here. Let's see why it will not let me open my open market recording here. Oh, okay. I see why. Sorry about that. Because that's not the right video. Here we go. Okay, so at the open, give me a second. We got to download this one. It's my bad. I'm unprepared. Guys, at the open, we did have a penny running. That looked like it was a good opportunity at the open. There wasn't much going like from 9:30 to like up to 10. So this penny that was starting to make a move going into about 10 a.m. Everybody in my group was on it too. Again, I haven't really been trading pennies because I need 10 cents a share of profit. So I need that thing to go from 50 cents to 60 cents to be able to even have a trade that counts on that. But today I decided to give it a stab anyways, because it seemed like it wanted to be the one that was catching the momentum. It had really good volume. Ultimately, that one was going in my direction, but I didn't get 10 cents a share of profit. So I pretty much stopped out break even on that one. But then HWH, which was the first thing that I traded this morning that I started on the loss, started to make a big move. And I took several trades on it before I was able to get it to work for me. And I kind of want to talk about that a little bit, because I definitely was getting into over trading territory on it, maybe trying to force it a little bit. But I just had conviction that it was going to be the one that made a big move, because, guys, there's usually always something that makes a big move at the open market. You just have to be patient and let all the other names fucking fight it out and dump into the freaking ground. And then usually that play that's going to be the one that everybody plays shows itself. And it just happened to be HWH, but it gave me a much bigger pullback on the 5-minute than I was kind of expecting in the moment. You know, I kind of look for that, big move up 1 minute, maybe 2 candles of pullback on the 5 and then break out for new highs. I'm so sorry this is downloading. Please skip through this part. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. It was a big video. But yeah, man, ultimately was able to finally make that trade work. I think I tried it about 4 times. 4th time was the charm on that one. But guys, that's not always going to work. You know what I mean? I do sometimes get in the habit, like if I get stopped out, I'm sometimes like really looking for a re-entry, looking for it to, it does get kind of revengeful in nature sometimes, but I was keeping the losses small. I wasn't going in with big size or anything like that. And the one when it finally was starting to go in my direction, and I had some conviction on that, and I went with it, and it ended up being a good winner. And yeah, it ended up being a good day. So I'm just gonna wait for this to download. But yeah, man, I love this shit, guys. I'm gonna keep doing this every day, hammering at this strategy, man. 5-minute pullbacks, 5-minute flags, managing the risk, inserting logic when the emotions are telling me that things are about to get out of hand. That's been a big thing that's been helping me lately. Again, really focusing on the mental game, because this is all technical, man. This is all technical shit right here. But the big battle is in the mental game, and you guys don't really see that. That's something that I got to go through with me, myself, and I. And nobody can save you from the mental game, man. That's all you. That is all you. You're the one that brings your fucking baggage to this game. And you got to learn the mental side of it. This is all technical. We could do this technical shit all day, and you could be the best technical trader in the world. But I'm really learning that the mental game has a big part in this. It's so maybe sometimes bigger than the technical aspect. So, again, I was experiencing a little bit of negative emotions when I was trying to force HWH to work. But, that's something that I'm going to take into account because, guys, you're not always going to get away with that. Sometimes, you're going to keep trying, you're going to take cut after cut after cut, and, you might swing for the fences and get fucked. But here we go, right into this penny, like I said. I started the recording a little late. I was already in here. Pretty nice 5-minute setup going into the open. It had a very clear risk off right here. That's the reason that I took this trade, and I felt like I can manage my risk on it even if it went against me. You see I had a 51 cent average. I did not take much size on this at all. And I think that was the right decision to manage my emotions on a penny that I don't really trade very often. I'm not a huge penny trader, even though I have in the past. It's not my forte, I would say. So you see I was risking the low of this pullback right here. Got some entries in this level as this started to be a push candle. That I also waited for that. Once I seen that candle wanting to push right here, I liked this and I wanted to see it clear out new high a day right here. And if it would have hit new high a day at 63, I would have put a limit and I would have got my 10 cents a share profit here. And I would have been able to count. But you see that we got a pretty good push here, but we did not get that first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Well, we did right here, but it got rejected. So we needed to see this move continue right here. You see it set up a 1-minute flag after starting to make a push on the 5-minute. It tried to break out of this, but ultimately it could not continue. And you needed to see this continue right here. And yeah, ultimately I just ended up cutting the trade once it started to come back down here. That just don't look like a flag to me anymore. It just wasn't worth to stay in and get ready, or I'm sorry, excessive emotions. But here we go. Catching up after watching that video download, HWH was starting to make a big move. You just put in this 5-minute boner candle right here. I was really interested in it. The incentive on this one was to clear out the pre-market levels to the left. That was the incentive, aka the reason that I wanted to take this trade. Because again, it didn't have news, so that was pretty much the only incentive, is that we have volume coming in, it's starting to make a big move, and the incentive is to clear out these levels. And that's kind of what we were seeing here. Now on this move right here, I didn't really want to see it make that clear out right away. I really wanted to see a pullback right here. And save that clear out for the pullback entry and give me a reason to take it. Now here we go. We were starting to get the pullback here. And guys, this thing went without me right here. It put in a nice 1-minute pullback right here. It didn't come down to the 1-minute 20. That's really what I really wanted to see, at least come down to the 1-minute 20. And kind of set up this pattern in here. But yeah, once we had that first 1-minute candle to make a new high here, that thing just took off like a rocket ship. First 1-minute candle to make a new high. Could have risked the low of this pullback, but this is more of a 1-minute setup. And yeah, that thing ripped. Made a huge move. There's the clear out. Pre-market highs, clear out right there. Halted. And I think that that was a good signal. So, as I go into these next trades and how I was forcing it to work, what you really, really, really wanted to see was this make a nice a nice 5-minute, fresh 5-minute pullback here, and then make this clear out move. But since it already made it, this was super, super extended, and the pullback, the really proper 5-minute pullback that was coming up, it ended up being a much bigger pullback than I was expecting. But now as I see it and it halted up, it just cleared out those pre-market highs. I should have probably been a little bit more patient on this pullback, or just, expected it to pull back a little bit more and kind of more focused like on the 5-minute here. Now here, I could have took this and I should have took this entry. I did not take this entry because again, I kind of was thinking that we were going to make a move here, maybe a deeper pullback to the 5-minute 8. And I didn't take this first 1-minute candle to make a new high entry right here, because we still had some room to the 1-minute 20. Not that it's everything, but I still, I kind of like seeing that. I just thought maybe we were a little bit extended. I was kind of expecting a bigger pullback, but you can see this made a nice move right here. It wouldn't have been a terrible entry to try that. But still, I was just waiting for a bigger pullback, man. And then I ended up taking a trade right here. Now, I was kind of looking like once this candle was starting to flip green and then break its own high, I was kind of expecting to see this make a push and clear out even new highs. But ultimately, I didn't really like this entry at all. And I think I just stopped out of it. I think I just cut it because I didn't like it. As you can see, I mean, this could have went. It could have went right here, but you can see we're kind of running into the downtrend, and I just didn't feel comfortable with this position. I don't think I should have took that entry right there, so I cut it. That's important, man. If you feel like you didn't make the best entry and you're just not comfortable with it, you can always just cut it, man. You can always just cut it, get out, and reposition yourself, and that's fine, man. But you can see I was looking for that first 5-minute candle to make a new high here. Still didn't get it. You got it barely right there, but it kind of rejected. Now I was looking for this as a risk off. I went ahead and took a starter right here because I was my general idea was risking the low of this pullback right here. But I could tell just looking at this, my executions were not really on point on this trade or on this name. Because you can kind of see, like, I missed that very first, like, big entry right there. I mean, not to say that I would have took it because there wasn't really a 5-minute pullback in my opinion. But I didn't take this entry, which I would have felt more comfortable on. But even on this entry, my ultimate target would have been right here. So who's to say, I would even have taken some profits on that one. I probably wouldn't have. And I probably would just end up holding my stop right there. But I would have pretty low risk right there. But I think me taking these other entries on it, I think that's where I was kind of like getting a little sloppy playing this. Because according to my plan, I should have took this entry right here. And worst case, as I get stopped out of this this other one, which you're about to see, that would have been fine. That would have been to the plan right here. You see, I got stopped out of that trade right there. I didn't have big size on it, nothing like that. And I was looking for this 5-minute 8 to hold right here. And I'm pretty sure I tried it again. Yep. So once we tapped the 5-minute 8, put in a wick that I could use as a risk off, and then we had that 1-minute candle make a new high here again. I took another entry. So this is 2.5 tries already. So the first one was in this area where I didn't like the position. I cut that myself. I just got stopped out of another attempt, and now here I am trying it again, trying to get this 5-minute 8 hold right here, and then try to push for new highs right here. So you can see, even though this is a bigger 5-minute pullback, it's still, in my opinion, the very first big pullback on the 5-minute after a big run up. And I was, my ultimate goal was to see this continue higher. I got stopped out again right there. But you see that I was starting to chip away and get back some gains from pre-market, but guys, I was keeping it small. In my defense, was I getting into over trading right here? Yes. Was I feeling my emotions starting to get worked up a little bit? Yes, I was. But I was keeping them small. And guys, I don't fucking hesitate on my stops. As you can see right here, I put them things in. When I have a risk off, I put the stop on my risk off, man, every fucking time. And that allows me to, even though, I was wrong several times on this one, when it finally went my way, I was able to still be profitable because I'm so strict on my stop losses. And I think that's really important. Now, I even looked away here. We had UUU, which I kind of missed this trade on it right here, and I seen it moving again, and I was thinking about taking it, but that wouldn't have been in my plan because that would have been the second 5-minute pullback. Now, what got me interested in HWH again was this candle right here on the 5-minute. I'm like, okay, we put in a very clear dip right here. Now I want to see this push and break that first 5-minute candle to make a new high, because you can see we still haven't really got it yet. And that'll be my indicator that, okay, maybe we're ready to try to push for new highs if we're going to get nutty like that. So I went ahead and took an entry looking for that first 5-minute candle to make a new high, anticipating a little bit. Now the range on my stop would have been bigger, which it definitely was. So I could not take much size on this. Only took about 100 shares right here because I was risking about 40 cents a share right here, but I still had about a good 70-cent share upside. Again, I could have gotten a better entry on this, but I kind of was missing when it first made that dip right there. And again, this was my third try out of it, so it's all good. I think I did add a little bit more, but I wanted to see that first 5-minute candle make a new high I added a little bit more here. So I was in under only 150 shares on this, but my risk was very, very clear on this play. As you can see, now we're breaking out of that downtrend, which is what I really wanted to see. We're reversing on the 5-minute right here, so everything's looking good for this to potentially make a move for a new high a day right here. My first target was 436. I wanted to take half off the table here because it's a very clear resistance level. That's where we were getting rejected earlier. Typically, it's going to come up. It's going to test that. Nice 1-minute flag here. I wanted to see that breakout. I threw a bid up at that level at 436 at my first target. I'm sorry, I didn't throw a bid. I threw an order out on the ask right there to take half off the table. And then I wanted to see 470s on this trade ultimately. There's my first order went through. So I got half off already at 436s. Not bad at all, 40 cents a share. And now I really wanted to see that clear out. And that is what we got. Nice squeeze right there. I had to freaking go through this stupid confirmation, but I think I got out at about almost close to $5 right there. So really good fills on that. And yeah, man, I finally got this one to work. I was trying it a few times, but I just had some conviction on this play. Nothing else was really going. Everything was kind of pulling back or failing. And, you know, this thing had the volume and it made a nice pullback, but we did make such a big move right here that this did not surprise me looking back. Yeah, that's all I got for the day, guys. Some pretty good trades, pretty good action, pretty good experience. I'll be back tomorrow, man, with the same shit. Peace.